here, and we are in it. It's week 9, I believe.
Week 9.
Week 9, Dundee League pod.
We made it.
Hot and heavy, ready to fire. Got the boys back together. No guests this week. Cream rises, as they say. Or falls. Because I think we're all taking L's this week.
I was just saying, well, I'm dairy free then. Because my shit's going right to the bottom.
Oh yeah, this is the first all loser podcast, isn't it?
Welcome to the losers table.
Man, it's a little warmer than I thought it would be.
The whole living room has been tainted.
Oh god,
It's cozy and it smells like coffee. I get used to this losers table, you know.
it's not bad.
It's all right.
Don't have much of a choice. I'm here against my will. Making the best of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, rough, as we were just saying, like topsy-turvy week in the NFL this week with all of the most of the top dogs going down. The only one that really escaped it was, as we were saying, Arizona and the
Colt McCoy and the Cardinals.
Yeah, the Texas, forlorn son himself, Colt, the most aptly named Texan of all time, perhaps, Colt McCoy.
It's true.
You could not name.
Sebastian McCoy.
Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah.
Well, Sebastian's a little rough in there. I feel like it should be Winchester or something.
Yeah,
you
so
know?
it's not Sebastian.
I thought you actually had it. That was like, that's fantastic. Little bit true.
Colt Hatfield McCoy.
There you go. That's the one. That's the one. Oh, man. But yeah, I mean, just a strange week. I mean, who would have seen the Bills going down 9-6 to the not even a touchdown in that game.
Nah, it was ugly football everywhere.
It was.
Yeah, and like man, I had a lot of money on Zeke this week. So your Cowboys hurt me, man. He was one of the best plays of the week in DFS, and he actually saved me a bunch of money at the end. I would have lost like that extra $100 if he wouldn't have inexplicably been run back onto the field with a knee contusion when the game is out of reach. When all of the other major running backs in the NFL are going down to injuries, you run your stud back out there for morale points.
Yeah, I guess.
For what?
Well, they sure fucking needed some morale points.
They did.
I guess, but it's like
that team looked so flat. The flattest it looked all year. Like you could tell 3 quarters of the first quarter, or 3 ways to the first quarter. Look at the players when they zoom in on the camera and just no life. They already felt defeated in the first quarter.
The only one that was showing any fight, even into the second quarter, was Mike Parsons, man.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Parsons was making plays all over the field. He had like 2 or 3 sacks in the first half, I think. Yeah, at least 2. Wow, he just got dropped.
Yes, he did.
Justin Fields getting level. He was in the field of play.
On 4th down.
Yeah, he's gonna run for it. Like if he's in the field, there was a roughing the passer call yesterday on Aaron Donald against Ryan Tannehill. That was probably one of the worst roughing the passers that I've ever seen. Listen, he lowered his head.
There's no flag.
Yeah, no, I know. They didn't call the flag, but it's like it's surprising that they did it. Because it's
because it was the right call not to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've changed the league so much to protect people. It's
Well, I get it, but at least in that situation, if he's turning himself into a runner and like like you said, 4th down, he's trying to get the first down. He's in the field of play and he gets laid out. That's your fault.
Yeah, you got smoked right there.
Yeah,
because the alternative is to tell your defenders to lay off of a guy who's trying to get a first down.
The alternative is Jalen Hurts backflipping over your mediocre attempt at a tackle and getting the first down and going down and tying the game and sending it to overtime, which is what happened to the Chargers this last weekend, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And they pulled it out, but they easily could not have, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, that got us a little off track there, but
I want to hit quarterbacks. I want to see people hit quarterbacks.
Yeah, I get that.
It doesn't need to be dirty, but like
they don't need to be
they
clubbed
get
in the
hit.
head.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
If you hit them late.
Some quarterbacks I don't see clubbed in the head. I mean, we're watching the Steelers. I would have loved to see that guy get clubbed in the head and dragged into a bathroom.
You know? Sam Darnold get clubbed in the head and never play in the league again because, oh my God.
Why Darnold?
Because he's going to bring down my McCaffrey is what he's going to do. Because that offense can't get a first down to save their life. Because Sam Darnold couldn't hit the backside of a bar with a half full of rice.
I at least picked on a guy who rapes people. This guy just takes you out of fantasy contests and you want to see him get clubbed?
Hey, I care about my fantasy team first, care about raping second. Timestamp that.
All right. Okay.
Nah, I'm just kidding. I mean, Roethlisberger's kind of a fuckhead too, you know. But it is what it is. So
kind of a fuckhead.
hey,
too.
we're coming in hot. You know, we had a rough week in fantasy. We lost some money in DFS. Not too bad, but you know, and we're gonna need a Monday night meal.
I had a bad week of football all the way around. Not only did I suffer my second loss of the season because all of my IR injuries, came to roost.
Yeah.
But then, Dave made a boneheaded bet with me, taking just straight up Titans over Rams for money. And then, check this out, sends me a text in the middle of the week. Like, hey, well, Derrick Henry's out, so that bet's void, right? Tries to get out of it. Well, I'm not going to let him out of that, because why would I?
Yeah.
And then gets the $50 anyway.
He gets the 50 anyway.
The Derrick Henry-less Titans take down the Rams?
And for all intents and purposes, blank them. Blank the offense.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right at the end.
Absolutely.
With again, what is it with NFL coaches this year? You're out of the game. Just throw on your third stringers.
Yeah, get out of there.
Don't go past the second string because you need those guys too.
It's a long season.
How many guys have to get hurt until these guys like Mike McCarthy? Dak's not in the game. I mean, I'm happy that they did because for fantasy reasons, but if you're talking about pure NFL reasons, get Dak out, get Cooper out, get Lamb out, get Schultz out.
Yeah.
Get the fucking offensive line out too. Get them all out.
Yeah, it's true.
You're losing the game.
Capture that one down. All right, guys, it wasn't here this week. We got to go get it next week.
Yeah.
Well,
why compound a 1 week issue into a 7 week issue?
It's not college. It's wins and losses. Nobody gives a shit how if you lose 40-0 or you lose 29-28, it's still a loss.
Well, so the Cowboys specifically too, you got a free win last week, right? So
got a free one.
Just clean the slate and move on. Live to play another day.
Yeah, weird week.
Your loss that you should have had last week got transferred to this week against a team that you really didn't have any business losing to. But it happens, you know.
It did happen. It was gross. The Von Millerless Broncos blanked the Cowboys offense. What was that?
Both the teams that lost a significant name, I guess. Von Miller's a much bigger loss than OBJ, let's be real. But both of those teams rallied hard this last week.
Well, and I guess, losing to injury, Derrick Henry talked about huge loss, huge rally.
Oh, yeah, there you go. That wouldn't even cross my mind. The only one that didn't really was the Raiders, Rugs.
Yeah, you're right. Well, think about Arizona. No Kyler, no...
Yeah, they won too.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man.
Packers,
that was the most surprising one to me. I wrote them out completely. I know the Niners are kind of coming out flat. Injuries and Jimmy G not looking that great, but I thought for sure they'd be the Cardinals at home. Divisional opponent. They're missing their quarterback and their number one receiver. Who's going to beat you?
And the number two receiver.
And the number two.
AJ was out too.
That's right.
And your starting running back goes down the first quarter.
Jesus.
And then you have James Conner come in and hang 40.
Jeez.
On the,
James
40.
Conner.
Fucking wild week.
James Conner.
Fucking James. You know, I heard a stat today. There's two interesting stats, and we should jump into it. James Conner this year, okay, he's at least top 5 for rushing. He might be leading the league in rushing touchdowns this year, I believe, after yesterday. How much money do you think he's getting paid this year?
$300,000.
Well, that's less than the league minimum, so I'm going to go no.
1 3/4.
1 3/4
million.
300 is less than the minimum? I thought 275 was the minimum.
It was back in the day. I believe it's $500,000. It has been for a while. Like 550 or something. I can fact check that.
No,
That's a nice little.
That's huge. That's
change.
There's 55
I
guys on the roster.
I would try to be a third stringer at that point.
No shit.
Show up every week.
Can I Alex Moran my way to be a millionaire?
I stand corrected. It is even higher now. It's $660,000.
Oh my god.
So James Conner is getting basically double the league minimum, and he's leading the league in rushing touchdowns this year. I mean, we could bet that, but he's got to be top. He's got to be top 5.
Before this week, position. I don't know if it's before this week, but currently ESPN has him position ranked 6th.
Yeah.
All running back.
Which is, he's scored a touchdown every single, I don't remember the last week where he didn't score a rushing touchdown.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he scored one last week because I know he scored one against the Packers.
Against Cleveland, he didn't get a touchdown.
Okay, but every other week, look at that.
His first 2 weeks, no, came out flat, but then they figured out how they could use them in their offense, apparently.
Yeah, in the red
6 out of
zone.
the last 7 weeks touchdowns, and several weeks multiple. And
1,
4 of those
2,
were
3,
multiple touchdowns.
I mean, he has 10 touchdowns through 9 weeks.
Yeah, I mean,
No, that's just rushing. You got a receiving one as well.
I know.
11 touchdowns.
I know. Good for that man. I mean, he's gone through tough times in his career. And he's
Good for Bailey.
showing up. Yeah.
Good for Bailey.
Yeah, I mean, but he single-handedly won her this week basically. If Strozzi doesn't get, but Najee is showing up tonight, so that matchup is not over with yet. That's
No, it's
within
not.
striking distance.
I mean, he's gonna need some work. He's gonna need another 90 and another touch. But
You
it's
know that
very
Tomlin's
doable.
going to ride out the fourth quarter on
Oh, yeah.
Najee's back the whole way, though. So
120 yards and 2 touchdowns is not unreasonable for
Not at
for
all.
him, so.
no,
Well, there's about a 9% chance of that happening.
yeah, but I don't know, man.
Yeah,
We'll see.
according to ESPN,
According to
shit ass metrics.
Yeah.
The other stat that I thought was interesting, this is courtesy of Matthew Berry and the ESPN crew. Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen combined for 20 points, I believe. Maybe even less than that.
Oh.
And I believe it was Colt McCoy
Oh no.
scored more than both of them combined. I believe that was a statistic.
Ah.
I'm not sure if that's the exact name that was right, but that's how brutal Week 9 in the NFL was.
Week 9 was awful.
Oh my God! Yeah,
It was awful.
we cannot get past it soon enough, folks. Looking forward to next week. But should we get into one of the matchups here?
Let's do it.
All right. Who do you want to start with?
Well, we touched on the Najee Harris one. Let's run through that one.
Dig through that one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as we've been talking, let's start on Bailey's side. I mean, Matt Stafford, we just talked about them last night. I don't know what it is with these star quarterbacks. I mean, star quarterback in quotations for Carson Wentz, right? But, there's been other quarterbacks who have had inexplicable, ugly interceptions in their own end zone in the last couple weeks. If you saw that little whirling dervish spin around, straight to the guy.
Yeah.
And not even in the dirt at his feet.
No.
Not even
just desperately trying to get back to the line of scrimmage in the middle of the field.
Now, is there some argument to be made that it is the right play? Because you give up the safety and the ball to the other team.
But
They
it
come
moves
down.
the field position.
There's a field position. But you know what I mean? So it's like
I think he makes the right play by getting rid of the ball because the percent chance that someone is just spying on him, waiting for that ball to come, because that's what happened. That ball,
Yeah.
he's like, this guy's going down.
Yeah.
He's going to try to chuck it, and he read that exactly how it happened.
Yep.
So I think, yes, he made the right
place,
call
right time.
to throw that ball away, because you don't give up points and give up the ball. No,
Yeah.
you can't do that.
Yeah.
So it didn't work out for him. But,
That's-
it was just fucking weird.
Carson Wentz's was much more egregious because he didn't get spun around at all. He
I
literally
did not
just
see
he
that.
switched. Carson Wentz last week against the same team. It was both against the Titans. Last week, literally the game is on the line. Okay, Carson Wentz in his own end zone is getting mobbed by 2 Titans defenders. Okay, switches the ball out of his right hand, which is getting pulled down, into his left, and basically just shovels it up into the air towards his tight end who's in the vicinity. And a Titan player, yeah, you can watch it here on the video. It's queuing it up here, but he basically just lofts it up. The dude grabs it, walks into the end zone for a touchdown. Completely changed the whole dynamic at the end of that game.
I didn't see that.
Because the Colts have any type of reasonable drive there and then punt for field position or even go down and put 3 on the board or even a touchdown, God forbid, they win that game probably. It's that play alone changes the complexion of that game. And the Titans were able to win it overtime.
The Titans are the Saints to me now. I believe the Saints. Who the fuck are the Saints? But now the Saints are 5-3.
Look at how he switches into his left hand.
Oh my god.
And then still gets rid of it.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, the Titans are.
That's why we talk shit on Carson Wentz.
yeah,
That was ugly. That was an ugly play.
that was gross. Mike Vrabel is a good coach. How about that? Great coach. That guy.
Nice. They don't have positive. That's good.
Yeah, they lost to the Jets though.
They lost to the Jets.
Who the fuck are the Titans?
They're the Saints.
Ugh.
You know who else lost to the
That's
Jets? The
unbelievable.
Bengals lost to the Jets. And the Bengals this year, by the end of the year, the Bengals are going to be a middle of the road team. I think we can see that clearly.
They're middle of the road
I
team
think
today.
they've looked that way all season.
Yeah.
I think that there's been
Today.
weeks where it's been like, oh, Jamar Chase is really fucking talented.
Yeah.
We knew that already. Oh, Joe Burrows can have really good moments. We knew that already. The rest of the team, Mixon, pretty good.
Their defense plays hard.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of star players. They have Jesse Bates. That's
They're not
probably the
bad,
best player.
but they're average.
Yeah.
Maybe a little above average.
They're overachieving average team that if their pass offense gets hot, they're trouble.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what I would say.
Yeah,
Because they have a running back that can grind out the end of the game. Joe Mixon is very capable of running the clock out at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm. I think they're one of the teams that if they're down, if you get a 7 or 10 point lead on them early, it was a lot different than if it was the other way around.
Okay.
And extremely vulnerable to powerful running offenses. Packers don't even have that great of a running offense, and they put up numbers on them. Look what fucking Chubb just did to him.
Yeah.
He had like 13
I got
carries.
to watch that.
Yeah, I mean a 70-yard run for a touch will inflate it a little bit, but he looked good.
You gotta do it.
Yeah.
Highest point total for him of the week.
Yeah.
Or of his season.
But speaking of mentioned Aaron Jones there, but diving back into Bailey's lineup there, rough week for the Packers. I mean, we knew it was going to be Rodgers is out. Rodgers is out. This is my weekly stroke right there, folks.
Rodgers is out.
Rodgers is out. So
Jesus.
with Rodgers being out, I mean, everybody on ESPN this week, everybody's hyping up Jordan Love, thinking he was going to be his new hotness. I knew it was going to be gross.
It wasn't good.
It was a terrible draft pick. Everybody was talking about how he was in the preseason. I don't know what that was all about. If people were watching the same preseason as me, he looked awful.
He didn't
in
look
the
good.
preseason. The Bills' second team made him look gross in the preseason.
He did
I don't know
not-
what everybody's expecting, but
He
I didn't
looked
expect
worse
much.
than a third-round selection at quarterback. And he was a first-round pick, and he's not the guy.
he looked like Justin Fields
Mm.
without the athletic ability in Justin Fields' first couple of starts. That's what he looked like.
Well, that's pretty gross.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
it was pretty gross. I watched most of that game being a Packers fan, right?
Mm.
And you should have seen just the sheer frustration on Devontae's face several times. There was one play where Devontae had his man beat over the top, and literally there's no safety help coming. Like the gap, he had this huge wide open down the sideline play. And literally all he's got to do is throw it over the right shoulder and lead him to the inside, touchdown. They take the lead on that play if he makes the right throw. Air mails it wrong outside shoulder out of bounds. No chance to even make a play.
Mhm.
And Devontae comes up after that and they just zoom in on him and he's just like, fuck.
Ah.
He's like, yeah, this is, you know what I mean? It had to be so frustrating because, like, he was beat, you know. Aaron Rodgers is in that game. I think the Packers whooped them.
Yeah, because the Chiefs are sorry.
Yeah, the Chiefs' offense is not.
No.
It's not there.
No.
165 yards and a touch for Patty Mahomes. Man,
Yeah.
disgusting.
I mean, the defenses are just. It looks like they figured out just put 3 or 4 people over the top. Don't let them get that crazy long burner that develops when you either blitz them or the play breaks down and you can't get him, and he gets 8 seconds to dance around and chuck it, and he's got nothing. He'll throw it underneath and they'll move the ball and then they'll make a mistake.
About like anybody else.
Yep, they're mistake prone, and if
Make him snap the ball.
he's been mistake prone this year. And if you make him have to put 8-10 plays together in a row this year, he hasn't been able to do that very
They're
many times.
turning it over on like 25% of their drives, and not like punts, like committing turnovers on a quarter of their drives.
They need to, if they're going to rescue their season, and rescue is a big word because that division is completely up for grabs. They're all have 5 wins. There's only a half game between the teams, and that's literally just because some of them haven't had a bye week. Some of them have had their bye week so far. So,
yeah, it's still very winnable. Like
wide open. Yeah.
they could easily find some mojo and be a serious contender by.
The Chiefs could win 4 in a row, and I wouldn't be like shocked about it because I'm still used to the offensive firepower that we have seen over there, and then the defense figuring it out by week 10.
Like our Cowboys play the Chiefs in a couple weeks, and I'm nervous about that game still,
Yeah,
because of what they can do.
If I'm Andy Reid to throw the league for a loop, because right now everybody thinks they got the Chiefs figured out, right? And throw what all the teams have been doing, by the way, is like they're running at what's called like a shell 2 coverage. So they run soft zones underneath, and then they run 2 deep guys so that Tyreek Hill can't get over the top for those big bomb plays, the corner routes and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
They make them throw those little 10, 15-yard passes or whatever. They tackle them in the field of play, and they try to make plays. They maybe blitz a guy here or there, and it's been working. But with those soft zones underneath and those safeties just anticipating and dropping back on every second or third down because they know the Chiefs are running the ball, start running power. Bring Travis Kelce on the line. Start, literally run power offense.
You need to have balance because when you're a one-trick pony, you can shut down one facet of the offense.
And what I would do is I would just start playing power football, completely not like the Chiefs at all, right? And then go to a play action system, kind of like Tennessee's got. You could do it.
Those are all very valid points, but then you have to address the defense because that defense doesn't exist. It doesn't matter if you change your offense a little bit if your defense, not this week, but it's giving up 30 points every single.
Well, if you're running the ball a lot more and getting first downs rather than turnovers, your defense is going to look a little better.
It is, yeah. Absolutely. Chris Jones has been not there at all this year either. He showed up a little bit this last game. I think he had a sack and a couple pressures, but he hasn't been good in the middle of that line. Frank Clark's getting old, and I don't even think Frank Clark's been on the field that much for him. So their defensive line's not good. They don't have much at linebacker to say. They got a safety and a couple corners that are solid. That's about it on defense.
Really it.
We've gotten about 4 members deep on one of these teams now.
Oh, we'll speed it up. But I just want to talk about the Chiefs a little bit. So,
back to the fantasy world.
Yeah, back to the matchup. So yeah, rough game for Aaron Jones. I mean, like we were saying, bad game all around for the Packers offense. You can kind of throw that game away. Obviously, Rodgers is going to be back most likely next week, so that'll make it look a lot different. Austin Eckler had himself kind of a little bit of a down game. It wasn't the worst game I've ever seen. He was running well. The Eagles played decent defense, and it was a Keenan Allen game. That's what it was. Keenan Allen, I think, had 12, 13 catches. The tight ends got involved for the Chargers. I watched a little bit of that game. Jared Cook had himself a decent game. Parham had a decent game. Cowboys, we were talking about that already. I mean, woof. How many times did Dak miss CD with 2 steps out of defender down the sideline? 2 or 3 times in my count.
Yeah, absolutely. And then just unable to audible out of run plays when it was clearly no safeties back. There didn't seem any flexibility.
They seemed so over brazen and confident to go for it on those 2 4th-down attempts early in the game instead of just taking a field goal on the one. Well, on the opponent's 20-yard line, it's a 0-0 game. I think at that point, take the lead because, like you said during the game, field goals are going to win this game. If you play it smart, that's all you need to beat Denver at home with the talent that you got. And they started off like that. And when you snowball momentum in the wrong direction like that, it's fucking tough to switch it.
It's exactly what happened too. Yeah, early in that game, like the first drive or two, I think Dallas was getting the better of them. The defense was playing tough. They were getting pressure on Teddy. Teddy didn't look that great.
Early sacks coming out.
Yeah, Mike Parsons looked like
Randy Gregory looked good in that game.
Yeah, I mean, like the early, those you're exactly right. Those early 4th down misses really fired up the Broncos defense, gave them a lot of confidence, momentum, and it really deflated the sails of Dallas.
They had a swagger that carried the whole game. Yep. And when you don't have an offense, your 2 receivers aren't going to score. You can see that with Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb combined for 6 points.
Well, down to the reason Bailey won.
It's James Conner. Chase Edmonds gets hurt. It's James Conner bonanza time. They leaned on him heavy. 21 carries.
He had 173 all-purpose yards and 3 touches.
And he had 21 carries and 5. He had 26 touches on the game. That's Derrick Henry level numbers.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable. So big game for James Conner. Good on Bailey for having him in the flex. Like, he's probably, one of the best flex players to have on the season easily.
Best flex players. He's one of the best running backs to have on the season.
But
all the dude does is score touchdowns every week.
He's the type of back that you would have drafted and positioned in your team to be a flex guy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I gotta say, him and Cordero probably are the 2 players that were drafted kind of in that flex range that have really come through more than anybody else.
Absolutely.
Essentially, Bailey has the running back 4, the running back 6, and the running back 9.
She's got some good running backs there. And then Brandon Ayuk showed up on her bench, obviously, but Brandon Ayuk sighting, Debo is a little bit banged up. Apparently, what was going on earlier this season was Shanahan and also like other players on the team leaders, this just came out in the last week because everybody's wondering like why now all of a sudden is Brandon Ayuk coming alive. Apparently earlier in the season they were not happy with his effort in practice, and he was getting called out by George Kittle. He was getting called out by other team leaders saying you're not putting in enough effort, and Shanahan was like, "Hey man, you're not going to put in the work. You're not going to see the field." And that has kind of all been put to bed. There was a meeting between him and Shanahan. Shanahan said to the press that he was really impressed with the way that Ayuk played against the Bears and the effort that he made. And it seems like he's going to get a little bit more involved. Now, do I think you can bank on Brandon Ayuk being a 12-point every week guy? No, I don't, because it's always going to be Debo first. But Debo, as Debo always does, is starting to break down a little bit. Last week he was injured. This week they said specifically because he's on Erica's team, so Erica follows him like a hawk. But essentially the report on this week was that he was in worse shape coming into this game than he was last week coming into last week's game. It's the same injury. So
I don't know that it matters a whole lot for Bailey's team because if you look at the 3 running backs she's got, her flex spot is filled every week.
That's true.
And
but bye weeks,
she's got that awkward predicament of having CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper, either one of which can go off any week. So who do you put him in with?
Yeah, Brandon Ayuk probably doesn't see a lot of time.
It's a gamble, no matter what decision you make.
At this point, she's got. Wait, what's her trade deadline?
December 1st.
So Bailey's got a month to move. Well, no, she's got 3 weeks to move Brandon Ayuk essentially.
Yeah, if he plays well, if he keeps playing well.
Because she's not going to put him in for CD or Amari unless she just wants to keep him for depth in case one of them goes down. But
or trade one of them. I think would be a better option.
That's what I've been calling for all year.
Yeah, she gets some more action for that.
It's falling off.
And you get rid of the dilemma.
That's true.
So let's move over to we spent a lot of time on that section. So moving over to Mr. Struzzi. This game is still in play, by the way. Struzzi's been closing the gap up a little bit here.
No, he hasn't.
He got a couple more points closer.
He didn't in the second quarter. All of the 9.8 that he's got was from the first quarter.
Yeah, and he got the rushing touchdown there. He needs about 16-point gap, so he needs about 80. Needs 16-point gap.
100 yards in touch.
Yeah, 100 yards in touch. That's what he needs. It could happen. Pittsburgh's kind of beating the shit out of him here.
They got a 14 lead, so they're going to be running into the ground.
Yep.
But he's got to get 100 and a touch though.
Correct.
How about we get a couple defensive touchdowns and maybe like a 90-yard bomb at Deontay?
Yeah, probably not gonna happen. I would think more on the Najee Harris one.
yeah, probably. So the Mr. Struzzi admitted in the group chat that it was a little bit of a bonehead play to play Tyrod against the Dolphins defense because one of them ain't gonna work out. Tyrod's going off.
Yeah,
you're shooting yourself in the foot with your
However,
defense.
Excellent defensive choice this week.
Great defensive choice because Tyrod looked like hot garbage.
Yeah.
Could not beat Jacoby, the beef brisket disaster himself, who only outscored Tyrod by 3 points. I know that because I played him.
The Dolphins haven't had a week of more than 5 points, and they put up 18 this week.
Yeah, I mean, Tyrod made one of the worst defenses in the league look competent again. Yep. So, I mean,
Jamar Chase coming out flat again with the Bengals' performance. Emmanuel Sanders not doing a whole lot. Just kind of a bummer.
If he gets any quarterback play this week, then this game's
not yet.
This game is
very low scoring across the league this week.
There's only one score that's above triple digits.
And it was my fucking opponent.
Sure was.
Luck, man.
Yeah.
No, I really like what Struzzi did, double stacking his Bills in there, to be honest with you, because I thought it was going to be Emmanuel Sanders and Beasley bonanza because the only good player on defense that the Jags have had up to this point in the year, apparently, Josh Allen just decided to show up when his namesake on the other side of the ball was playing. But they haven't really done much this year, but Shaq Griffin is a halfway decent corner. So I thought he'd be able to slow down Diggs a little bit, and it would be Manny Sanders and Beasley all over the yard. Just did not happen.
No Bills.
My favorite part about that Bills-Jaguars game was the Jaguars kicker that missed the same kick 3 times.
3 times.
All through that. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, because of a series of penalties. The first one was a false start on his team, so he goes wide left from 41. and then a false start happens, so that kick never actually counted. So then he tries it from 46, is wide left again.
Oh god.
But then
Defensive penalty.
there was a defensive penalty. They give him an automatic first down. They go 3 and out, and he gets a 37-yarder wide left. I mean,
that
just
kid's getting fired.
every single one of them was from the left hash, and every single one of them missed the left. It was just the funniest thing.
Oh, that's insane. Oh yeah, right there. This is third quarter.
Oh,
Man, that's nuts. But yeah, I mean, good win for the Jags. I mean, who would have thought they were going to get to 2 wins at all this year, much less against one of the best teams in the NFL. I mean,
yeah. Chalk that up to another just weird fucking.
there was a game last year like that too. It was the Vikings. Remember how bad the Vikings were, and then all of a sudden, it was either last year or the year before. Vikings were terrible, and the Bills were good that year, and it was the same thing. The Bills show up. But that game, the Vikings blew them out. The Vikings beat them by 20 points or something in Minnesota and just ran them off the field. And I remember it specifically because I had like a survivor pool going on. But to wrap up this Strozzi and Bailey matchup, anything else you got to say here? I mean, Jamar Chase had some bad drops in that game. I saw some of that.
I watched him drop a touchdown.
Yeah, uncharacteristic for him during the season, but he struggled with that preseason.
He did that last week too.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, he's a rookie. You got to remember he's a rookie. Like Jerry Rice dropped passes when he was a rookie too.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, between Tyrod Taylor and then 2 Buffalo receivers that were a part of a 6-point overall effort from their team, you just didn't have a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, you just never stood a chance there. No.
Rough go.
Rough go.
All right, Cody.
One more
Let's
set
get to the one of the most beautiful victories of the week. I gotta say here, the 30-point, almost 30 point,
30 pints.
30 pint,
30
30 pint. Is that Deontay? Defensive touchdown? Shit.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
Come on. 30-point drubbing that Team America put on the butthole records themselves here. What do you have to say for yourself, Cody?
I have to say
Excuse
David Carr. I have to say Colt McCoy.
Did you say David Carr?
I did say David
Carr. Played
Carr.
like David Carr.
Thank you.
Shit.
I've got an accidental flex play in this Sharp Cat, but not because I was putting Hines in, not because I was gonna have the forethought there. That didn't go.
Nobody would have thought that.
Appreciate you, Hines, on my bench. But I was gonna try to move another receiver that's in a later game, and I completely buffed that. But it was I've got so many injuries.
Yeah.
I've got so many injuries, and there were some buys.
Derrick Henry makes you vulnerable.
Well, I mean, does the number one fantasy player going down make one vulnerable?
Well, I know how that is because, Christian McCaffrey's been on the IR for me for the whole fucking year, so I know exactly how
Not the whole fucking year.
Yeah,
I got 2 good weeks early.
I got a 10-point effort this week. It's not the end of the world. It was all right.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot to say other than the fact that this was when I set my lineup, it was the cringiest looking bunch of faces I have ever seen on a lineup, and I was like, all right, well, I'm going to get Prescott and Elliott and Chubb and Diggs and Hollywood and fucking Waller.
She's got a super team.
On paper,
on
she's got
paper,
the best
amazing
team.
team. Now Dallas shits the bed, so I'm watching this first round. I'm like, all right, well, I should lose, but because 2 big horses are getting taken out, I still had a chance late, and some game scripts could have happened.
Well, because Dak had about 5 points, about half of the fourth quarter,
and then he got a couple garbage
ones.
And not only garbage time, but also 2 2-point conversions. Crucially, that's 4 points that went to Dak, and 2 because Zeke got one.
It was plays off of there. He had 5 points.
It was such garbage time that I had quit watching the game before I ever saw the main score. Yeah. So I just looked later. I'm like, oh well, I appreciate 26 points that meant nothing in this game, and I'm still a Cowboys fan who has my heart, in my stomach, and then I'm getting pummeled there. But then I still had a chance going into Sunday night with Dale Henderson and Cooper Kupp because those two. Did I need 40 from them? Yes.
But it's possible.
In 3 different weeks in the last 6 weeks, they had combined for about 45. And so I was like, all right, well, the odds are low, but let's go. And then the Rams shit the bed too. So it was just a weird week, and I'm glad it's over because
I'm ready to move on.
Yeah, me too. Do we know if Darrell Henderson is hurt though, significantly or not? Because he did come out of that game.
No news.
It's interesting.
Anderson ankle wrestling time.
Sidelined
with an ankle injury in the second quarter, returned to action later in the period, and appeared to finish the contest without any setbacks.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then he's probably all right. That's big for you.
Yeah, it is.
Because I mean, you're in need of a second running back, though, my man.
No, absolutely.
I don't think Gaskin's going to be it. Gaskin's so up and down. He had a decent week this week.
It's true. He had a decent week. I'm hoping that Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to come reclaim some of this power from Kansas City.
If it is power it ain't going to be him. It's going to be Mr. Gore and Darrell Williams.
Look, I need something somewhere. I need a running back. If anyone out there wants to come for a receiver, I guess let's talk some shop. But
I mean, I was in the same spot last week. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason I gave away Nick Chubb. I knew with Hunt out that the man's gonna be making plays, but I see my number 2 running back with Chris Carson maybe not coming back all year is Williams. And if Clyde comes back and is the guy, I don't have a body to put in that spot.
Yeah.
So I moved him, and I got Patterson and Mitchell, 2 running backs that are not as good as Chubb. But combined, give you 2 running backs.
Yeah, and you gotta have them. So I mean, that's what I'm looking for the people listening. It's outside of that, I guess I'm just hoping, praying that you take some more losses. I hold on to this bye week status that I'm rocking.
Yeah.
Because
maybe you gotta move Cooper Kupp. Maybe that's your ticket.
Hey, if the price is right, I'd say everybody's for sale.
You gotta worry more about Mr. Allen Dalvin, less about me, because his team's still.
He's in the other division. I don't need to worry about him for a bye.
You don't. Yeah, okay.
He's gonna get his own bye. He can have the best record.
Is Taylor in our division?
Nope.
No. Okay. So it's me and you. Yeah. Me, you,
right
and Bailey.
now.
Me, you, and Bailey.
And Bailey got a win this week.
Yeah.
So she's tied with you now.
She's tied before.
Well,
hey, it ain't over yet.
With the tiebreaker.
We're 24 points.
She's got more points. I don't know what their head-to-head record.
The first tiebreaker.
She beat me.
The first tiebreaker is points for.
That's
she's got you on that.
I got you all on everything.
Yeah.
For now. Enjoy it.
Trying.
I think my team's gonna be more solid. One thing that we gotta finish this first. So, hey, I mean, yeah, it's gonna be a rough week when you're rolling out Christian Kirk and Tajay Sharp there, and Derek Carr at quarterback. But Derek Carr's been good, really under.
That was his worst. That was his worst week.
Yeah, you gotta love that, right? The 1 week you plan, but then he just shits
against the Giants.
Definitely wasn't his worst week.
Oh, wasn't?
Nope.
Oh, what did they do? Play Chicago?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, the vaunted Bears defense.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, what did you play Chicago? What?
That's hilarious.
That was the one. Perfect.
He throws a pick 6 to Bradbury, and then he throws 2 picks to the same guy McKinney in that game. It's awful. But then on Erica's side of the ball, I got the garbage time out of Dak.
She got saved by the 2 men I traded to her this week.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott and Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
Put up 46 of her 99.
Chubb was the one. Chubb and actually Kirk were 2 of the calls that I got right in DFS. I thought Kirk was going to have a game because obviously wide receivers being out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Chubb, what a game. Stephon Diggs always finds his way to not putting up duds, really.
Yeah.
But has not still. We're going into week 10 next week. Has not had a just week-winning week like he did last year.
Well, Buffalo's offense hasn't just
like
had
3 weeks.
week-winning weeks. Yeah.
Since like week 6.
Yeah, man, I don't know.
You know?
He's almost into touchdown-dependent territory because the only times, 3 out of the 4 times that he's hit double digits this year, he's had to have a touchdown to do it.
But Patrick's credit here on that call. His floor is 6.2. Yeah. He got that once, a couple of 6.9s, and then...
Which is great, but when you're drafted 24th overall, that's not good.
He's your wide receiver 1. You expect more. She's got Debo, who has actually been her true wide receiver 1 this year.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't put up a lot of points here. Obviously, the 49ers is such a lackluster effort. I mean, again, at home against Colt McCoy in a banged-up Cardinals team, you got to do more than that.
Colt McCoy and James Conner's Cardinals.
Yeah. For God's sakes.
Darren Waller getting 19 targets for it again is a good sign.
19 targets?
He didn't get
Sorry,
19,
I looked at the wrong one. That was week 1. He got 11 targets.
Oh, jeez. I would have heard something about 19 targets, right?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
No, but that was one of his first good weeks here in a while, where when your tight end's pushing double digits, it's a good week for a tight end.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
That's true.
She got Marquise Brown also heavily benefited from the end of that game. He was not doing a whole lot, and then he got super involved right when they were making their overtime push.
Gotcha.
He had a couple big catches at the end of that game, but he didn't do a whole lot. Should have been a bigger game for him, too, because Sammy Watkins was supposed to be active but was out again, was inactive again.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bateman was dealing with a groin issue. So it should have been all Marquise Brown. And if you watch what the Cowboys did with Cooper Rush against the Vikings, you would have thought that Marquise is going to tear him up. But it all went to – if you watch that game with the Ravens and the Vikings, I was watching it because obviously I got Mark Andrews and I bet on a few guys in that game too. And I'm sitting here playing Allen, and Lamar's kind of going off, and he's throwing touchdowns all the yard. You want to know who the touchdowns went to? Patrick Ricard, the fullback, the second tight end, the fucking fourth string wide receiver. None of the touchdowns went to anybody relevant whatsoever. Nope. All the fucking random guys, and then Lamar ran with it.
Dude, week 9. 30 on me. Week 9.
Yeah.
Any other comments on this one before we move along?
I don't think so. I'm kind of fine.
Any last words for your butthole?
It's sore. If anyone wants to give me a running back and throw in just some ointment and some cream that I can possibly put on myself.
I'm gonna go ahead and jump in here for Erica and just throw in the reverse medicine here and say, "Suck it, Cody."
Yeah, got that one
well
coming.
deserved.
Well deserved.
Anyway. I can't talk too much because I'm about to take an L here to Mr. Allen. Moving on to my matchup, the dumpster fire versus Team Allen and Dalvin. We got Lamar this week. That's really what it was. Nobody else really blew the doors off. Some solid performances out of his running backs, I got to say. Basically double digits out of all of them. Wide receivers underperformed. Wolf Mike Williams, he's not the same anymore. He's still got him 6 points, but you're looking at those performances in the first 5 weeks of the year, and he hasn't been close since about week 5.
Non-factor.
They're saying the knee injuries really hampered him. He hasn't really looked right since he picked up that injury. So, and also the connection's been there with Keenan Allen, like I was saying. So, everybody still considers, apparently, Alden who's out here, everybody still considers Keenan Allen the top dog on that team, within the team and in the eyes of the other organizations that play against them. So
well, you've heard people talk about, players and coaches alike and analysts, about just the composure that man has. He is a leader on that offense.
So consistent.
It's like when Antonio Gates, his talent level went into the toilet for 7 years and you're still a team captain.
Yeah. I mean, there's something. I mean, and Keenan Allen has been the guy there for how long? I mean, damn near 10 years at this point.
Yeah.
I mean,
It feels like forever since that man could run a post 5-second 40-yard dash.
Yeah, but somehow he still finds his way to 12 catches, 100 yards, and a touch.
Wow.
What really hurt me, that one. Hey, thanks a lot, Philadelphia. It's Boston Scott, gonna be the guy. Guess what we get? Jordan Howard's the workhorse running back. What the fuck, dude?
Jordan Howard.
God.
Well, last week they both got in the end zone. You were a little unsure, but yeah, the storyline all week, all the analysts were talking about was Boston Scott.
17 carries, I think, Jordan Howard got.
Do you think that continues the next week, though? Or do you think that it's one of those ones hot hand, the guy has a couple rough starts, and it could easily go back to Boston next week?
You want to know what? I think I'm done guessing on the Philly backfield.
One more time. What you got?
No. I would rather roll fucking older than the hills Adrian Peterson or see what Antonio Gibson looks like coming off a week's rest on that shin and roll him and CMC out there because you don't know. Because Kenny Gainwell was getting involved at different spots. Jordan Howard's getting between the 20s carries. Mm-hmm. He's supposed to be the goal line guy. What are we doing? Nobody knows if they have the right recipe, I will say, to run the ball and keep the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands. Because, I mean, that's the right move, obviously.
Yeah.
I will say Jalen Yeah. I mean, I will say in Jalen Hurts' defense, he did make some plays at the end of the game that got them to overtime.
Yep.
He made some plays. And he had a good pass there to Devonta for that touchdown at the end. Left Devonta on the bench, which hurt me. But the big story of my week really was, Boston Scott crushed me. Mark Andrews kind of nullified against Conklin, but I mean, Mark Andrews should be skunking a guy like Conklin at any given week in terms of their head-to-head. Didn't happen. Like I said, just all those touchdowns went to the random guys for the Ravens. Justin Jefferson, it was nice to see him catch a bomb touchdown in that game.
Really early, too. Thought you were in for a monster week, and then just kind of went flat.
That's what I thought, too, man. I thought I was like, oh, this is going to be that 25, 30-point Justin Jefferson week, and it just did not happen.
Nope, he has not had one of those this year.
Yeah. But you know what? I still like it. I still like rolling him out there as my wide receiver one.
Just like the Stephon Diggs one, but an even higher floor than him so far
Yeah.
this year.
There's less mouths to feed in Minnesota, too.
A lower floor.
You
He's
know?
got a 2.1.
And, okay,
But that's it, though.
I suppose. But he had
He's got more
one
double
week at
digits
2,
than
1 week at
Diggs.
6, 1 week at 7, and then like 14, 14, 14, 14.
Okay.
Whereas Diggs, most of it, his mean seemed to be more like the 8 range.
Oh, okay.
But so there's that, and then it's nice to see CMC make it through a full game. And you know they were talking all week they're going to manage workload, which they did, yeah. But if you look at what he ended up with touch-wise, he still had 20 touches.
Yeah, he's the offense in Carolina.
Yeah,
That's why he's the number one.
They have nothing else.
No.
I mean, well, they have a lot else actually, but they don't have a quarterback who can get the ball to them. So
And
that's
they
the
were
problem.
going against New England, and we talk about it every week.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick, take out the number one guy, make him beat
New
you.
England's
Somebody else.
good.
New England is better than I gave them credit for most of the season. They're not bad. They're very well coached because they always are.
Hate him.
How
And
about this?
they don't make mistakes, which is going to put you in games. They're not good,
Okay.
but they're not bad.
How about this? New England could win the division.
No.
I can't get behind that. I can't get behind that. Not with
Sneaky,
Josh
sneaky
Allen.
quietly.
Yeah. I mean, the
I
Bill.
think not.
I'm trying not to
Their
make.
records are close though. I think New England's like a game back.
I'm not trying to make a bunch of declarations about
They're a half game back.
the Week 9 affair because, god damn, it was just fucking
The
New
good.
England's won 3 in a row.
Have the
The
Bills and
Patriots
Patriots
are-
played yet?
The Patriots are 1-4 at home, but undefeated on the road. this year.
Yeah, crazy. The league's crazy. And then, yeah, I mean, to wrap my shit up, I'm hoping the Steelers can come through for me. It's not looking promising. I need a lot of points in the second half to pull this one out. But it could happen. You know, crazier things have happened, but that would be pretty crazy. Leaving Devontae Smith on the bench kind of sucked for me. AP had a touch, would have been a better play than Boston Scott. Really, it's quarterback play for me again. What else is new?
Yeah.
Which really sucks too, because Tua, I feel like if Tua was healthy and played in that game, he would have lit them on fire. But I don't know. Anyway,
Ifs and buts, McCannies and nuts.
every day be Earth to Donka Fest. That's right. There you go.
So wait a minute. Did Brissett and Tua both get starts in our league this week?
Brissett and Tua both started because Tua was not technically inactive. Tua was the backup. He was still on there. He was still on.
Okay, no, but Tua didn't get a start in our league
What do you? No, I mean he didn't get played. No.
though. Got it. Okay. I
I
for some
dropped it.
reason thought I saw that earlier, and I was like, oh my god. But no, that was the Tyrod Taylor Miami defense debacle that I saw earlier. That's I wrapped my mind around one thing.
Yeah, I dropped him because I think Taysom's going to be worth something next week, but we'll see. So anyway, yeah, did we cover everything on his side too? Devonta Booker, another solid week. Devonta Booker's been so solid. Great waiver wire pickup for him. It's just all volume. It's all volume for Mr. Booker. He's getting over 15 touches every single week. And they're just riding him into the ground because, frankly, everybody else is hurt in New York. So
Every weekend there's somebody else.
Kenny Galladay had a sighting this week, though. Kenny Galladay was back on the field, so that's nice to see. Anything else? I mean, it's nice to see Lamar being Lamar, even though it happened against me.
I
You
would
said
like
it was
to-
your opening line in the Lamar Jackson show. That was
Mhm.
pretty much the story of the whole
Yeah.
match, and nobody else really amounted to much.
Yeah.
I would like to thank Team Allen Dalvin for to help me maintain my lead in my
Okay,
division.
moving on.
Cut him off. So here we have just terrible, rough, difficult performance from Mr. Pavlik this week. He's got Patty Mahomes. He's 60-point effort. Gets 0 points out of the Colts. He gets Chase Edmonds banged up within like the first drive, puts up a basically 0. Adam Thielen catches a touchdown, but basically he did the Mike Evans from last year where he catches 2 passes and 5 yards and a touchdown. Michael Pittman had a decent game for him on a Thursday. Could have been a much bigger game, but obviously that was Jonathan Taylor beating the shit out of the Jets by himself, essentially. The one bright spot of his whole lineup outside of Michael Pittman was Melvin Gordon.
Yeah.
Because the Broncos ran for like 200 yards on the boys.
Yeah. Their defense is made to play from a lead and shut down passing.
And create turnovers.
Yeah. Because
big play defense.
You can run on them all day for the lead, and holy shit, that game just went that way.
They're not a line them up and battle in the trenches defense.
No.
They'll wear down.
Yeah.
They're not big enough for that.
They're small.
Yeah.
Well, he got triple digits from Kenyon Drake for the 3rd week in a row too. So maybe he is actually a part of that offense now. He only got like 9 touches, so like every week there's always a reason for concern to feel supported by it. But then he puts up triple digits. Or double digits, I mean.
But triple digits.
Yeah, right. He put up 100 points in Kenyon Drake.
Won the game single-handedly. 10 touchdowns, 400 yards. Kenyon Drake.
Told you. Told you it was coming.
I wouldn't bank on it yet if I'm being honest with Dave because, I mean, it's crazy to think that he made the right call to play Mahomes over Burrow and how bad they both were.
Oh, my God.
And he still made the right call.
Dude, so much rough quarterback play this week. For people that should not have performed like that.
Very odd.
The Colts really let him down on defense, too, because they should have just beat the shit out of the 3rd-string quarterback for the Jets, but they just went into a shell and allowed everything in front of them. Yeah. Dude passed for 300 yards, 2-3 touchdowns.
And you had the Titans defense putting up 16 on his bench. Not that it would have made a difference in this matchup, but.
But are you going to roll the Titans?
No,
against the Rams?
No, absolutely not.
He made the right call. It just didn't work out.
Well, he did not make the right call.
Well, he made the right call by process.
That's fair.
He
made the smart choice.
Yes, he made the choice that any other logical person would have made.
Which is new for Dave.
Way to go, Dave.
Yeah, nice work, Dave. Way to be logical and fuck it up.
Really bitch in the ass.
Go back to your old ways.
So that way you can lose by 26 instead
That's
of
right.
26.
Hey, moral victories. That's what you're talking about. All around the NFL. It's important, apparently.
Yeah.
The only thing I was saying about Kenny Drake, though, let's move over to Allen's team. Because Dave doesn't even have a chance here. I mean, you would need the most ridiculous game.
No, this one's over.
But Kenny Drake, the reason I wouldn't bank on that just yet until I saw it for maybe another week in a neutral game script game where they're like, they're ahead by a touch, their team scores, they're kind of battling back and forth. They were down for a lot of that game. So Kenny Drake is going to be the guy.
Well, they got Kansas City next week, so that'd be probably a good time to figure out.
Yeah. I could see Kenyon putting up 15 against KC next week.
All right, Dave. Send me Kenyon Drake. You heard it here. Who do you want?
We'll see. Well, I mean, we'll see. But the thing is that if you watch what other teams do, like if you watch the Packers did against KC, granted no Aaron Rodgers, so how do you really judge that? But they put their big back out there. It was A.J. Dillon.
Everybody should. Everybody should. I've watched Kansas City's run defense, and everyone should do big back sets.
Yeah. It's been missing all year.
Yeah.
But anyway, to move over to Mr. Taylor's team.
I think Allen might have the number 1 or the number 2 running backs now that Derrick Henry's out. Or pretty dang close.
I don't think he's got the number 2.
JT is number 2.
He's definitely got the number JT could be the number 2.
JT is 2 and Joe Mixon is 3. So now with Derrick Henry being out, I think he was the one. So because it's just a rolling stat line. Yeah. So like eventually he'll go down as those points come up.
So he's got the number 1 or the number 2 running back right now.
That's fucked.
If you're saying on just like a pure points basis, yeah. But if you're saying
based on what they've done so far,
which is the ultimate metric in fantasy football,
of course. But what I'm saying on any given week, what I would say that Taylor is the number 2, and like it's a debate right now between Najee, Eckler, and CMC. Who else is in that conversation? If you ask me.
I hear you.
I think you throw Chubb in there too.
I think you have to.
Yeah, especially after this week and
no
with
Hunt.
no Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Shit, I think Chubb's the
Yeah, I
one.
mean, if you're speculating, you can throw a whole bunch of names in there. You can throw Zeke in there. But if you're going off what has transpired,
Everyone scoring points.
He's got 1 and 2.
Yep.
Well, he's got 1 and 2 minus Henry because, again, transpired. You still count.
Now, the problem for Allen, okay, come playoff time, is going to be with his wide receivers. He has traded away all of his wide receiver depth, and you hope Terry McLaurin comes back healthy off the bye. I think Washington really needed a bye. Both McLaurin and Gibson have been banged up. If they come back, and you know what, it's getting to be about the time where Fitzy could be working his way back in the lineup if he's going to come back this year. We don't know how bad that hip injury was. But you get Fitzpatrick back out there, that team looks a lot different on offense.
completely different.
So,
Like almost like a contender, because they had high hopes for that team coming into this season.
and I
Is
think
there
that's some of what's been going.
Any news updates on Gronk? Like, I mean, remember what he was doing when he was actually on the field? Like, it looked like Gronk of old. Now, the thing happened that we thought would happen, but
Yep.
But I mean, if he comes back, he can put together another 4-week stretch of just being insane.
It looks like he's got enough trouble with back spasms to where his return is still very vague.
Got it. Okay.
Well, what happened to him, right, was he had the rib injury, and then he came back briefly, and then he had a huge back, a huge back spasm.
So they're gonna sideline him until the Super Bowl.
I mean, he's old.
Yeah.
Like, it's like if he's healthy and you know what I mean, like, he's great, but as soon as the guy picks up an injury, like, you know, his body ain't healing as quick as it used to, you know what I mean? Like, 32 might as well be 45 for a tight end.
He needs to get back in the WWF and take some of them good steroids.
I literally, like, when he left and went there for a year or two, I'm like, just watch. He's going to come back, and he's going to look like 5 years younger than he did when he left. Because that's what they do. They're all, you know what I mean? They got the best roids in the fucking world over there.
They really do. God
So,
bless them.
I mean, to be fair,
It's fantastic.
you talk about age, he's the same age as Travis Kelce.
Oh, really? Wave, I feel like, but how many years have they been playing in the league? Because I feel like Gronk's been playing more, but maybe not. No,
I don't know, because Gronk retired for a couple of years.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Travis Kelce has more wear and tear on him than Rob Gronk
Yeah,
has.
you're right about
Tech.
that. Travis Kelce never is hurt, though.
He's not.
He's an Iron Man at tight
That
end.
dude's a monster.
Knock on wood for Mr. Shruzzy, but yeah, he's very, very hurt.
Any
The
other comments on this one?
Tennessee backfield, just as a last thought, I mean, the Cardinals put one on the Niners. Who would have thought that? Javante could be a hero of the second half.
Could be.
You
Now
watch
he's
the
been
way he was
waiting.
running.
But then
Good Lord.
Melvin gets in the fucking end zone and puts up performances every week. So it's like,
Melvin still looks almost as good, but if you saw some of those, Javante's had about 3 or 4 runs this year where you're like, holy fucking shit, dude. Where he's just dragging like 4 dudes. There's the play against Dallas where he runs up, and I think it was Trevon Diggs was over there, one of the linemen was over there, and then a linebacker had hit him, and then it was Diggs and another linebacker that basically had him wrapped up. They thought the play was over. Doesn't stop, turn his legs, busts out of that, almost breaks the next tackle of the safety and takes it down the sideline. Picked up like 50 more yards than any other player in the league. Like, you think they'd be done. Like, that guy's going to be a fucking stud next year. Because Gordon's leaving in free agency, like, clearly.
He's not getting paid again.
Why would you? You have this beast young running back behind him that can clearly carry a full workload.
Yeah.
when you
So-
say that, why would you? Well, the argument would be that most teams in the league do run a 2 running back set.
That's a good point. Yeah. But why?
But you're not gonna pay him.
Don't pay him and just
No.
bring in somebody else that's competent.
It's
You
true.
know?
And Melvin Gordon's minimum at this point is going to be quite a bit higher than whoever's going to replace him for 85% of his production. So
I think I'm trying to think where it would be a good place for Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon in Baltimore would be a sight to see, but JK is probably coming back next year. He's too young. That's not gonna work.
probably not.
Melvin Gordon in Miami would be a good play for them.
Yeah.
I think so. Gaskin's not the guy in Miami. Gaskin cannot carry a full workhorse running back role.
I don't think Melvin
You-
Gordon
I don't
can.
think Melvin Gordon can either. I think
He-
Melvin
but he
Gordon
has-
got his season high in rushes this week, and then no other week.
He's had double-digit touches every single week, though. Every single week he's had.
Just barely, and 11 touches is not a workhorse tally.
No, they,
Well, you got to factor in the receiving game too, though. His average has been around 12 to 15 every week in total touches.
That is okay. If you
basically.
count his 2 big weeks, and then you're right. But most
Yeah.
of it's sitting between 10 and 13.
Workhorse, though, I would say you're right. 15 to 20 a week, even on your low weeks, is a workhorse role.
But
You got to be a 15 to 20.
in the end zone, man, the guy's been producing.
That's true. Anyway, anything else to say about Allen? He played Danny Dimes and lucked out and did his running backs carried the victory.
Yeah, he didn't need much.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
hopefully
scores-
Kyler's okay.
yeah, got one of the most respectable scores out of a weird week in the NFL, but so much of that is JT. So if you got a guy who's getting 30 on a week like this when the entire NFL doesn't score, then you are the winner.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
a Lamar, there's a James Conner, and there's a JT this week, and all of those are victories.
Yeah,
By
you're
hefty
right.
margins.
Yep, you're right.
Accurate.
Um,
Let's move on to this stinker.
here you go, man. You had a good week this week too, man. I was feeling for it when I was looking at these scores.
You'd have beaten everybody
I was
else.
feeling real good. What really turned it was Justin Herbert and getting them touches. He got that rushing touchdown and then puts 3 total touches on the day with about 356 yards through the air, and that was the difference maker. I had nobody else on my bench between injuries and buys that I could have put in to sway it. Tyler Lockett being out kind of hurt. Tyreek Hill putting up a dud is what lost it for me too. 3.3, that Chiefs offense. That's rough. I got 31 points between my kicker and my defense, so like my numbers are inflated. Most of my team went pretty flat this week.
Yeah,
Yep,
3
just
points
another
on Tyreek.
30-point monster on one of the rosters, and there's your difference.
I needed Tannehill to do something. He got down the red zone a couple times, couple picks, just couldn't.
I think though against not such a good defense, I think Tannehill's going to be worth something in the second half this year.
I think so too. But this gives
Which
me
is gonna have to be. There's no Derrick Henry
That's
for
what I'm
what,
saying.
maybe like 6 weeks. I'm
This
hoping
gives
that he's an
me-
Adrian Peterson. He'd come back soon.
it gives me loss number 6. If I lose again, it's it's probably over already. But if I lose another one, I think it's statistically almost impossible.
Officially a losing season with another one.
Well, you got to think. So Strozzi's probably going down this week too, and so am I. Right? We're the second tier. There's like it's Cody and Allen in the top tier, okay, and then other Allen and just a notch above me and Strozzi. But that's 5 playoff spots right there, and then Bailey's, and then it's basically me and Bailey. So it's more like me, Bailey, and Strozzi are on one tier, and then it's Taylor, and then it's Cody and Allen. Those are the playoff spots right now. And so, yeah, I mean, everybody else is kind of fighting out. But, like, the thing is like, the thing you got to think is, even if Bailey wins this week and you lose, you're only 2 games back. There's what? There's going to be, we're playing 13 total weeks, so there's 4 more weeks. But you got to make up 2 games. So you basically
Yeah.
got to win 3 and she's got to lose 3.
Got to win out, and I
Yeah.
got to hope for some luck on top of it.
Yeah.
So it's
It's a long shot.
I don't see my team with my roster now coming in last place. I think there's a couple of teams that are clearly below.
But you're starting to look at that
But the
consolation
fact
ladder.
but the fact that that's my selling point for my team now is depressing. So
Yeah, if we're, I don't want to call it last place teams because I feel like that's me, but I have a couple ideas who it's going to be. But
okay, go ahead.
Yeah, do it.
It's for the people. It's
it's
for
for the
entertainment
people.
purposes
I mean,
only.
if I'm calling out who I think is going to end up in last, I honestly think it's probably going to be Trish. But we'll see.
Look at that roster, though.
Look
Look at that roster, though.
Well,
My money's still on Dave.
Mine too.
I don't think so.
Mine too.
Dave's got 4 wins.
Yeah, he does.
How's he
But-
finding what's
Because I don't think he's in the playoffs. I don't think he's going to get in the
Did you
playoffs.
remember how the loser bracket works for the consolidation? The
Oh, yeah,
regular
that's right.
season 12th
That's
place is not the loser of the league.
That's right. See, this is where I messed up. So that's you're right.
There is a consolation ladder that must be
Yeah.
And
like a Mortal Kombat ladder in the arcade.
Tom Brady later in the year will probably carry Brant out of the last one.
Brent's put up 120 a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I think he's fine. I think he's got a better team than I do.
He's fine as far as being in the loser pool, yeah. Because I don't see him because you got to lose. You have to lose at least your last 2 games. In that loser level, right? To like be last.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
So it's broken into 3 tiers, and
to be the loser, you have to lose
Todd's
the
in
last 2.
right now, right?
Todd is tied for last place with.
Todd is number 12 technically. If the season ended right now without this week's performances being tallied,
Got it.
he was number 12. It would have been him versus Erica in the last spot. Myself versus Brant, one up from that, and then Dave and Trish for the last 2.
Mm-hmm.
If we wanted to talk, and this isn't just me being a home favorite here, but if you want to talk about a team that could go on a mega run here at the end of the year and find herself in the playoffs.
If she gets to the playoffs, she could be scary.
It's going to be a big problem because
Uh-huh.
that lineup is nuts. So I told her when she made that trade with you, I was like, you have the best team in the league right now.
But she has to go undefeated. That is the hole that she is in.
Which she very easily could.
Good.
Well,
with
so-
that
Well,
team.
not very easily, because that's hard to do no matter what your roster is. But
She just had a terrible week out of the boys, and she still beat Cody by 30 points.
yeah, Cody's team doesn't exist.
Cody's limping into retime.
It's true. I'm trying to back into it by so hard right now.
And you're hoping that somehow, by some miracle of God, Derrick Henry finds his way back.
You goddamn right.
In
Dude,
the
I've
playoffs.
run the numbers. I don't really expected
It
him
could
back.
happen.
And the truth is,
Yeah.
the only game that I can realize, unless he does like some like Terrell Owens,
Which he could.
He could.
Because they are going to be in the playoffs.
they are.
Yeah.
The week that he would come back on the early scale, if he doesn't do something more aggressive, is the championship game.
The best thing you could hope for is that the Colts go on a mega run.
Yeah.
Okay. And that the Titans drop a few. And that they have to play for it to win the division and get a better matchup in the playoffs, so they bring Derrick Henry back for that 1 week.
Yeah, you're
He just
absolutely
goes
right.
nuts.
You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. I don't even know who the Titans would play in week. Is it 15 is their championship or 16?
Well,
It'd be
we-
16.
16 is our championship.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because 3 playoff rounds, right?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And the Titans play the 49ers.
Who's not great on defense, clearly. They just fucking got owned by James Conner.
Right.
But anyway, so to cover, do you want to say more about your team, man?
Nope.
Cordero had a good game.
Oh,
Which,
guys.
which you like?
Erica could totally run this table. 4 weeks left. She's got Trish.
She's got me. She's gonna beat me again.
She's got Jake. She's got Dave. She's got Patrick again.
She's got 4 very vulnerable teams.
She does.
Yeah.
She's got 4 vulnerable teams
I'm
coming up.
telling you, man.
She could be. That would put her at a winning record at 7-6. Because it's 2-6 now, but she's got this locked up.
It's gonna come down to what me, Strozzi, and Bailey do.
Ooh, interesting.
That's what it's gonna come to. One of us has to
Interesting.
drop a few games. But
Yeah, if 7-6 can get in, she can get in, but she's
But
got to be
only one of
perfect.
them. Yeah, there's a window for greatness here.
Ooh,
that
I
would
love
be-
to see
how
it.
crazy would it be?
And
if
last
she
to
won-
first
if
and
she
first to
fucking
last.
won the league
Oh,
this year?
What
That'd be
if
nuts.
her and Brant flip spots?
Forever intertwined.
But that's what you love with our league, man. It's just like the NFL was this week. It's fucking any given Sunday in our league, man.
Mhm.
Anybody beat anybody.
Gotta play the game.
Just
That's
for
right.
grins, I want to see who Dave's
Very,
got left.
very, very steady performance by Todd's team across the board. Big payout from Justin. Pretty good game. Not much from Alvin until that late touchdown that kind of salvaged it too. But
Michael
Couple
Carter's
things.
coming on.
yep, a couple things broke his way.
Yeah, Keenan Allen's been super getting all the targets because Mike Williams being banged up.
12
Um,
receptions he had.
Yeah, 13
Yeah.
target. Look at the last 2 weeks. The targets. That's what you like to see.
That's wild.
Keenan Allen is a
Caught
target
every
master.
ball but one out of those 13 this week too.
Yeah, he looked good. It was 10 yards a pop for him in that game. Like he was first down after first down. He was the one moving the chains. That man, Pitts would have had a much bigger stat line. He dropped a big old touchdown.
Did
Yep. Yeah, he did. Apparently Mark Andrews did too, apparently. I forgot to mention that. Hit him right in the stomach, apparently. Mark Andrews dropped it. That would have helped me out a lot. But Patriots, yeah, I mean,
3
beat
weeks
the
in a
shit
row.
out of
he?
Missing
Putting up some good points. I mean, 2 of them were the Jets and the Panthers, and Belichick just eats young quarterbacks alive.
Oh my god, yeah, just he's the best against inexperienced quarterbacks. Like
He is.
That aren't named Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
That's about it, though. That's it. That's literally it.
But no. That Arnett, he crushes young quarterbacks, and he smoked Herbert last year.
No, he smoked Herbert this year
Did
too.
he?
That was
Yeah.
his game that was 12 points last
Herbert
week.
I was
threw
fucking
six.
you're right. I'm remember that completely wrong. Nah, it was just Dak
I
Prescott
mean,
that did
I
really
say
well.
smoked it. They had 5 points other than one touchdown last week, so
Right.
it's middle of the road. But still.
What else? What else we got here? We played Van Jefferson. How about Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons being the 7th seed in the NFC right now? How crazy is that? They take down New Orleans. They're in the mix in that division.
Who is New Orleans?
New Orleans is nothing.
Nobody knows what they are.
I know what they are. They're nothing. They're the Bengals -3.
They're a first-round playoff team that's going to lose.
Okay.
That's what I think.
All right.
I agree with that.
They'll make it to the playoffs.
They're gonna wild card it in because Tampa's getting that
Yeah.
division, right?
It's
They're
gonna
lock
come
that
down.
up.
It's gonna come down to some head-to-head matchups. I don't know if they've played once, but
Has Atlanta
sure
and
they've
Tampa
twice.
played yet?
Yes, and that was a super high-scoring game. Remember, we were all at the bar for that one. That was the same week that Minnesota could beat the Cards but missed that kick. We're all at the table. And that was the week where we all first started thinking that Cordero was going to be something. Week 2, because he had a big game that week.
That first one was a monster game.
Yeah.
Last matchup of the night,
What an ugly.
and it's a
But Brent it pulls out the win some way somehow, 61-56.
Tell me how.
Oh, good lord.
Tell me how.
That's like a Big Ten basketball game.
One
score.
player on his roster above 8 points.
So one guy had what?
One player on his roster got to 8 points.
Well, you want to know who did it for him? Was Mr. Wentz himself.
Yeah, the only player.
Yeah, hanging points on the Jets. is what that
How you get
was.
single digits everywhere in a win? Jesus Christ.
I mean, look at his bench.
He made all the right calls.
He didn't have much of a choice. Out, bye, out. So, like, he played what he had to play. He only put up 60 points, and then Trish did that.
But we'll say for him, Jerry Jeudy looks like he's going to be a real solid 7 to 10 point a week type guy. Cortland Sutton in big trouble. No, what I'm saying about Jerry Jeudy, because what Brent's going to be able to roll out, though, like, the reason why I say that is you want somebody consistent to, like, throw into your flex on these weeks where, like, Swift's got a bad matchup. Like, he's got it. I mean, look at the players he had on his bench this week, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's got a lot of players on his bench that could do some stuff, and having another guy in there like Jerry Jeudy who you can rely on for points because he's going to get targets is valuable.
I mean, look at the running backs here to put in this week. Tony Pollard and Carlos Hyde. He's got Barkley, James Robinson, and DeAndre Swift all on the bench.
Robinson dealing with a heel bruise apparently, but he'll probably be back soon.
Yeah.
If Trish would have made the egregious call to start Jalen Hurts over Josh Allen, she would have won this game.
It's so crazy. And if she would have played Devonta Freeman over Zach Moss, the glory play of Ty Johnson I thought was amazing. I was like,
Right.
and when I saw that she played Ty Johnson, I was like, what are you doing? And then I was like, well, you know what? It's not that bad of a thought because if you think about it, you think the Colts are going to beat the shit out of the Jets. Ty Johnson's the receiving back.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And he had 8 double digits, had a decent game.
yep.
Just, again, a very strange week has hit a few teams really hard. And it hit both of these teams really hard. And somebody had to win. They should honestly have both lost.
I think we can officially brand this one the cripple fight of the season.
Cripple Friday of the season, yeah. 61.18 victory. Okay.
You want to know what really
I've
sucks?
seen Josh Allen get 54 points before.
Yeah. Wait, did he score 50? No. 54? No, he scored in the 40s before.
46.
Yeah. I don't think he scored in the 50s.
Not this season.
No. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
last, I guess.
No, sometime
I'll go
last
hit
season.
40-something once
There's a-
this year.
There was a 50 burger on it one time.
But what I wanted to say was Zach Moss was such a good bet to score a touchdown this week,
Uh-huh.
and then just gets concussed, gets nothing. I had him everywhere in DFS. Everywhere. I had him everywhere. I had Zeke everywhere.
Concussed.
I had Chase Edmonds over Connor,
Oh,
and they were like the
man.
same price.
Jesus.
Oh, it was brutal.
What's his highest?
It's got to be in the 40s. He's got to score.
Last year was 37.66.
He's got to have a 40 somewhere.
Last year? That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know that I can trust these metrics. That's the highest one it's showing. So
interesting.
Huh.
Anything else to say about this matchup? I thought Brandon Cooks would have had a better game too, but obviously Tyrod was god awful.
Yeah, I don't have much else to say.
I don't want to talk about this matchup anymore because it's gross.
It's sad for DJ Moore. I'll say that. He's such a talented player. He's getting the Allen Robinson treatment. Not that bad, obviously, but like super talented player. Like he's hoping and praying for Teddy Bridgewater back at this point.
If Matt Rule
You know,
gets a quarterback, I think the Carolina Panthers next year, the
they
year
have all the
after.
pieces.
Yeah, I like them.
They have a great defense. They have one of the best running backs if you can stay healthy.
Mhm.
They have, if Robbie Anderson remembers his last year version of himself and gets back to that, and him and DJ Moore,
consistent.
you know,
Yeah.
it's not all okay. So I would say about 80% of it's Robbie Anderson. He's had some bad drops.
You think it's 80% of him? You put that
Maybe
much
maybe
on?
80% is high,
Okay.
but it's a good. I would say over 50% is him because he's had some bad drops. He hasn't been the same. He's not been explosive. But if you look at like when you're consistently getting like all these targets and you're only getting X amount of catches, some of that's the quarterback. Okay, should a target count as a target when it's 5 yards over your head? Or like, you know what I mean? So,
Okay, all right.
because like that's what's been going on in Carolina. So you can't pay attention to target numbers there. Did we cover them all? Is that all of them?
That's all of them.
That's it.
All right.
An ugly week. Get
Ugly
me out.
week.
Next
Yeah.
week's schedule pulled up for anybody interested.
Who we got next week? Oh, I'm playing Todd. Okay. Man, I like that.
Hey, Todd, help me hold on to that lead, brother.
Well, Todd's the one that's saying I suck, so we'll find out who sucks.
Hey,
this
Todd,
week.
time to find out who
Toddy.
sucks and who doesn't.
See if it's a hot toddy or a.
Go on.
Yeah, how are you going to finish that?
I don't know. Never mind.
Hot toddy or a crazy Dave.
Yeah, there you go. Hot toddy or cold winter. We'll find out. Who are you playing next week? You're playing. Oh, that'll be a marquee matchup. The 1 and 2 in the league. You and Allen next week. Mr. Allen and Dalvin.
Nope.
Yeah, it is. No, that's week 11.
Yeah, we're looking up here.
Ah,
So you got Mr. Strozzi next week. Cody knows.
I hope he's looking average, because I sure am.
Bailey's playing her man Allen and Dalvin's. You've got King Taylor. David's playing Todd. I'm playing Brant. So that'll be a possible early matchup of the Sacro Bowl.
Ooh, I am all
Oh,
Allen. I'm all
playing
Team Allens next week. Hell yeah. All right. Hey, go Allens.
absolutely not.
Come on, Allens.
Nope.
Looking to hold on to a lead, and I'm not going to do it by winning, so I need other people to lose.
We're gonna crush Mr. Taylor next week because we get Chris Godwin back. Got Justin Jefferson in there.
You're crushing Mr. Taylor
Oh,
next
we're
week.
Patrick, I'm
crushing.
just going to throw this
We're
out
crushing.
there again. You haven't scored 100 points since week 1.
All right, let's look at the matchups here, folks.
Yes, please.
Yeah, look at some matchups here.
Oh, we're going to actually use information to
Oh,
determine
we're
that.
gonna use some information. To
Yeah,
determine.
but only if you consider like the points that players are putting up.
Hey,
What are we
First
even
of all-
using here to judge?
first of all, okay,
Hey, that tight end's got another touchdown. From
mute the
He got
roast.
2 touches.
I wish the viewers cannot see this, but I have pulled Patrick's schedule up on the screen.
No, so check this out. Christian McCaffrey's at Arizona next week. We like that.
Number one.
Oh, you're
defensive
banking on the
league.
guy that's played 2 weeks this year?
Arizona's not the number 1 defense in the league. Not even close. And then probably not playing Boston Scott. Okay. Who are the Steelers playing? Let's look here. Detroit, so we like that.
So, hold on. If what I'm hearing is correct, your argument is that for the first time this season, you're going to have players that have good matchups?
Hey.
Because I feel like that's not true.
We made it to 5 wins. Okay?
Yes, and the sun shines on dog shit once
Hey,
again.
Can we
all
look
we
at
gotta
the
do
points
is
scored
get
against
to the
Patrick
playoffs.
one more time?
Hey,
And is it still the least amount of points in the league?
It
we
is.
say it
It
every week,
is?
folks.
It is.
We say it every week, folks.
Which is
You
funny.
win who game.
stuff.
You win who you care for.
Yep, you win. You win what they asked about.
Oh my
And
God.
that's what you do. And that's what we've done all year, folks.
You win what might never be.
And you know what? If we get a 70-yard bomb out of Deontay and a defensive touchdown, we'll win this week, too. All right, let's do
You
it.
might get 95.
Come on now.
Oh jeez.
All right, we got anything else to say on this one, boys?
No.
So that's having the whole gang back together. I gotta say that. It's been like 2 or 3 weeks here.
It's true.
It's nice.
This is good. Getting it back to the rhythm.
Getting it back rolling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the sun's going down earlier. Sorry for you. A little low energy to start here, folks.
A little
But
seasonal depression setting in.
that's, you know, it was a rough week of football. The sun's not out, you know. Mercury's in retrograde. What are you going to do?
You gotta wait on
You know?
that. Gotta wait on that retrograde.
Sign it off, folks. See you next week.
Bye.
Love you.